Good morning, watch nerds. Welcome to my channel, and welcome to what I believe is the only review of a production model of this particular watch on YouTube. Now, one of my favourite watches in my present collection is the Batavi Cosmopolite GMT. I'll leave a link to that review below. Batavi are a Dutch microbrand owned by Ugo Mamek and Mike Roblick. Although Amsterdam based, the watches are built to a very high standard in Asia. Now, the entire Batavi range is original to say the least, and Batavi just love to use colour. What makes the Geograaf so different is that instead of a fourth hand, they've used a rotating disc. Simply align the required GMT time to the 12 o'clock and Bob's your uncle. And welcome to my unpaid and unsponsored review of the Batavi Geograaf World Timer. And this is the packaging. The outer box is a basic cardboard, but inside is a rather deluxe 2-watch pouch. With that comes a 2-year warranty. And this is my watch of the day. It's the San Martin SN0131G. And what a cracker. As usual then, let's have a look at the dimensions, because if you don't like those, it's not really worth watching the rest of the review. Now, the case is 39mm, the lug width is 20mm, the depth is 13mm, which includes a double dome sapphire crystal with a little AR coating, but in my opinion not enough though, and the lug to lug is 48mm. The weight after adjustment to fit my 17cm wrist is about 146 grams. Now, although this has got a different case to the Cosmopolite, I moaned the lug to lug was a little bit too long on that, and this is the same. That said, these are a pretty nice set of dimensions and they'll suit most wrist sizes, and I believe the watch wears the size. Powering the watch is the Swiss Soprod C125, which is a close but not direct clone to the Yetta 2893. As a matter of interest, Soprod are part of the Festina group. Now, I've got the same movement in my Cosmopolite, and it's extremely accurate, and to date it's given me no problems. It's a high beat 4Hz movement, and it ticks away at 28,800 beats per hour. It hacks and it hand winds, and like I said, it's very accurate, with relatively little positional variance. The power reserve is about 44 hours, and the hand winding is absolutely lovely. Now, you pull the crown out once for the hand winding, a second time for the GMT function, then the third time for the time adjustment. The outer ring can be turned to align major cities of the world to match the GMT hand. Worth noting though, on the prototype they printed the cities in reverse order, but this has now been sorted. In reality, this is running at about plus 5 seconds a day, but let's see what the time grapher thinks of it. And certainly no complaints there. As you can see, it's got a fantastic rate, a very good amplitude, and a more than acceptable beat error. Both crowns measure around about 6mm, are signed, and the knurling is finished to a very high standard. Now, the crown that operates the movement is screwed down, and it aids the watch's claim 200 metres of water resistance. But the bidirectional crown that operates the outer ring does not screw down. Now, the positioning of the left hand crown is quite awkward to operate when it's on the wrist, but that isn't really much of an issue, and in my opinion it's better than centering it. Engagement of the movement operating crown is decent, but it's not buttery smooth. The case shape is quite angular, but it's quite nicely shaped as well, and I think it fits well to the back of my 17cm wrist. Now, the top of the fixed bezel is brushed, then the sides of the bezel are polished. We then have a brushed upper case with a highly polished chamfer. The sides are then horizontally brushed. Now, the brushing and the polishing is done to a very high standard. The exhibition back is screwed down, and a nice touch is it's made of sapphire. Around the outsides is engraved some basic information. Now, this is the green version, which Batavi called the Air, after Ireland I suppose, whose national colour is indeed green. I think it's fair to say that it's pretty striking to say the least. Now, starting from the outside, we've got a rotating bezel with the cities of the world printed. We then move on to the next section, which are some polished wedged indices, which include loom blocks and painted minute markers. Moving in one more layer, we've got the rotating inner ring for the GMT time, which is half orange and half grey. The centre of the dial under the 12 o'clock reads Batavi, Amsterdam. Then above the 6, in a rather interesting script, it reads Geograaf and then World Timer, but spelt the Dutch way. Now all in all, this is one hell of a busy dial, which some may love and others hate. The loom is BGW9, whilst it's okay, it's not brilliant. The indices are reasonably well applied, but unfortunately their hands don't last as long. To be fair though, we must remember this is a sports watch and it's not a diver. Now I found the loom was legible for about 4 hours after being charged. Anyway, let's have a look at it. The bracelet with its female end links is very comfortable. It's very well made with great finishing and tolerances. Now it tapers down from 20mm to 16mm, then back up to 18mm for the clasp. As you can see, it's an 8-link bracelet with brushed outer links and polished inner links. Now I've never been the greatest fan of polished inner links, mainly because they can scratch, but as long as this one remains unscratched, I'll resist the temptation to fully brush it. Now the aforementioned solid end links fit perfectly to the case, and there's also the bonus of quick release spring bars, which is good because I think this watch could look good on a whole selection of straps. On the fly micro adjustment is all the rage now, but failing that, this clasp is all you can really expect. It's milled, it's got double pushers, 4 micro adjustments, it's well made, brushed and signed. So what do I think of the Batavi Geograaf World Timer? Now this good used one was on eBay for a matter of months, but considering the current market, that didn't surprise me. Selling any microband watch can be difficult, but the slightly more expensive ones even more so. When new, these cost €849, although they're currently on offer for €749. I'll leave a link below. But don't forget the duty depending on the country you reside. I picked up this very good used one for around about half that, but that was after a bit of haggling of course. The question is, would I recommend it? Yeah, if it's your taste, of course I would. So that brings me to the end of this review, so if you've enjoyed it, please click on the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, leave your comments below and enjoy the rest of your day.